All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News. Black Bear News. I don't know what accent I'm doing. I think Russian. I'm not sure. Buenos tardes, osos. Yep. Fractal Fred, what's up? Buenos tardes to you. All right. Thanks for being here. We started off the show. Somebody kicked down a coffee. Thank you. Says someone. I don't know who that is, but whoever you are, thank you for kicking off the show with a coffee from Buy Me a Coffee. Denver is on Substack. Got a couple things on the actual defense secretary, the deputy under Hegseth, who is the founder of Cerberus Capital. Yeah. That owns DynCorp. Oh, DynCorp. Feinberg at DynCorp. Steincorp. That's weird. Hold on one second. Yeah. I'm sure, yeah, the people really pulling the strings are all connected to connected to a particular country that has lots of sway over our politicians. Don't you know? Whoa, I'm surprised. Color me shocked. We're live on Odyssey and Lither Black. It's on Odyssey. Says, howdy doody, it's a big, beautiful baby Hitler. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The world is either spinning off of its axis or working exactly as intended. We don't know. What am I doing? All right. Let's start at the beginning, I guess. Marco Rubio says Iranian missiles threaten U.S. military bases around Iran. And the U.S. Navy deployed near Iran. How dare they threaten all these military bases right next to Iran? What are they, lunatics? This is the kind of thinking. What is this kind of thinking? I don't know. We'll call this definitely narcissistic thinking. You're threatening you're threatening my threatening of you. You're threatening the fact that I'm threatening you, and that makes me feel threatened. Therefore, we need to do something about this because you're threatening my threatening of you. That is definitely narcissistic. I know it's a popular word, and I know it's probably an overused word, but it's applicable and it's apt and it is correct. So when describing something correctly, you need to use the correct words, and the correct word for this type of, you can call it gaslighting, but gaslighting is a product of narcissism. Narcissism being the inability to see the fault in your position and act, and be adequately, shamed, humble, take corrective action. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. That narcissistic behavior is, I'm going to do things that I want to do, and I don't care if it hurts you. And if you complain, I'm going to get really mad that you're complaining. That's basically sums it up. And the entire world is narcissistic. Obviously everybody has a narcissistic streak in them, but the way that the world operates, narcissism is a disease right now. It's an epidemic, and it rules and runs absolutely our institutions, our government, our the people that are in control have zero shame, zero accountability, zero boundaries, zero ability to see themselves clearly, zero ability to take corrective action, zero ability to hold, anyway, to have any like balance of thought. It's just plow forward and get angry if anybody has anything to say about it. And that's, in a nutshell. Anyways, we'll listen to this, I guess. This is Marco Rubio saying, what level of gaslighting is it to place your bases outside of Iran and declare them, Iran, a threat?
The other thing I would point you to, however, is that Iran possesses a very large number of ballistic missiles, particularly short-range ballistic missiles that threaten the United States and our bases in the region and our partners in the region. And all of our bases in the UAE, in Qatar, in Bahrain. And they also possess naval assets that threaten shipping and try to threaten the U.S. Navy. So I want everyone to understand that beyond just the nuclear program, they possess these conventional weapons that are solely designed to attack America and attack Americans. The other thing I would point you to, however, is that Iran possesses...
It's only designed to attack Americans that are standing around right outside of Iran with guns on their hips, is what he means to say. If we want to call it what it is. Marco Rubenstein, yes. That's his real... Rubio is not his real name. His real name is Rubenstein. Yeah, it's just madness. And then here's JD Vance carrying on with the whole, they're going to have nukes any day now. They are making the nuclear weapons as we speak. They're in bunkers, hiding out in their robes and their beards and their weirdness and all their fundamental Muslimness. And they're over there just making nuclear weapons as they want to. They're just crazy.
Send in Maverick, because it looks like Iran's got nuclear weapons again.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. If they try to rebuild a nuclear weapon, that causes problems for us. And in fact, we've seen evidence that they have tried to do exactly that.
Evidence. I wonder where he's getting his evidence from.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year.
I think we watched this video yesterday. Or something, just a rehash of the same video. It's not necessary. Yes, extricable. Meanwhile, BB the baby killer has nukes. Yes. DC is choking on its own what? Are there really? Is there really poop in the Potomac? Is that true? What's happening? Did I miss that story? What? Hold on. The poop pipe that caused the Potomac sewage spill wants to explain itself. What? Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, our infrastructure is completely, falling apart. The Potomac. All right. You win a gold star for that. It's an old system. Yes, our infrastructure is, we'll just put aside the fact that it's unnecessary, but our infrastructure is falling apart, or just unnecessary to the degree that it exists. I'm not even going to go down that road, but we'll circle back around to that. Did I get my bicycle and bus pass for the Iran war? I have neither, and maybe I should get it together. Well, shoot. While we're trying to ramp up for war, our economic system is quietly or not so quietly falling apart, and everything that the Trump administration is doing currently really seems to underscore the fact that things are fishy in Denmark. That things are not good. Medicaid payments just got halted. They're saying this is basically they're just threatening the state of Minnesota to comply with their ICE things. But I think there's some other things going on here because they're citing fraud. They're citing fraud. So this could be a double-pronged approach. Could be two reasons for this. One is they want to force Minnesota to comply with their ICE operations. The second is that they want to test. This is just a test rollout for, suspending Medicaid payments to, everyone. Oh, oops. Yeah, no more Medicaid, right? This could be, maybe this is a Trojan horse for just ending Medicare. Like they're not even going to pass it. They're not even going to pass a bill. They're not going to put it to vote for the Senate, to the Senate or Congress. They're just going to stop payments. Right? They could. This could happen. I mean, it's not out of the realm of thought. They could just stop payments, citing fraud. We're investigating fraud. When really the underlying cause is a budget shortfall, or just no budget at all. I know they can print their way out of pretty much anything, but this would give them an excuse to do something like that. So there's a lot of levels to what possibly could be going on here. We cannot just really have a hard time upgrading our infrastructure appropriately. Can't give people a living wage, can't give people health care, et cetera, et cetera. Basically cutting, funding for programs while, giving $10 billion to the Board of Peace and stuff like that. Right? So, yeah. Yeah, I saw 300 million gallons of wastewater has overflowed from the collapse site. This is in D.C. Jesus. Ooh, yikes. It's got to be lovely to live around there. The reason why I say this could be multi-layered, because look at this. Look at this. This is really... The suspending Medicaid payments to Minnesota is one level of yikes. This is another level of yikes. Sorry. This is Dr. Oz. We're announcing a 6 months. Well into the end part of the year, or past the middle of the year, right? Obviously, it's February, end of February. We're announcing a 6-month national moratorium blocking all new enrollments for durable medical equipment, prosthesis, orthotics, supplies across the board. This is nationwide. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Well, I'll play this and then.
Is we're announcing a 6-month national moratorium, blocking all new enrollments for durable medical equipment, prosthesis, orthotics, supplies across the board. These crimes are becoming a major source of fraudulent activity. And I'll just mention, Mr. Vice President, South Florida. You ever go to McDonald's?
Yeah, too much.
We had rehearsed this. So there are twice as many durable medical equipment suppliers in South Florida than McDonald's.
Wow.
And that's not because Secretary Kennedy is closing down McDonald's. That's because the amount of fraud is so massive that it's easier to open one of these suppliers than open a bank account, which is why we're working with Secretary Bessent. And part of the reason for this moratorium is it gives us time to be able to deal with these issues that have become massive. And if we just shut down South Florida, they'd all flee to California.
Bullshit. So this is nationwide. Governor Walz said this morning Medicare fraud rate in Minnesota is 2.4%, while nationwide it's 6.2%. Oh, I bet the Medicare fraud rate in red states is pretty high. I'll bet you money right now it's probably higher in red states, which is they're the leaders in Medicare recipients mostly. His hair is like Trump? No, I think his hair is like Gavin Newsom. He kind of has a Newsom hairdo going on right there. So this is man. But what if you need this equipment? Durable medical equipment enrollment. This is again just like Doge. Probably there is something there, there are probably a lot of levels to what's going on here. And I doubt that fraud is the level that they're really going after. I'm sure they're probably trying to inject some kind of AI shenanigans into Medicaid and Medicare. Impact on Medicaid. While the moratorium is primarily for Medicare, CMS is allowing each state to determine whether to implement a similar pause for its Medicaid and children's health insurance program. The move aims to combat fraud, waste, and abuse, citing data showing high revocation and suspension rates among suppliers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. The whole fraud thing, originally started with Doge, has been, I'm positive there's lots of fraud, mostly embezzlement from people who run these programs, right, and get kickbacks or take, these things are funded to the hilt into the billions, right? And so these things don't actually cost that much to give to people, or these services don't cost that much. So they're just taking the difference, which I'm sure is a lot. The difference is probably major, right? Because everything is just astronomically expensive especially when it comes to medical care. Why is it expensive? Because everybody's got to get a cut. I'm sure there's money laundering going on and fraud going on, but it's probably from the people, more at the center than, looking for fraudulent cases out in the wild, right? Yeah, and yes, Denver. These folks talking about fraud or complaining about fraud is one of the most ironic things ever. Man, I almost got a picture yesterday, and I wish I did. I wish I got this picture yesterday. It was so perfect. Let me describe the picture to you. They have these anti-homeless like bus benches and places, so there's a bus bench and it's got these like seats that are all like so that you can only sit on the seat. You cannot lie on the bus bench. And then right next to it was a regular bus bench with a like a public, service announcement. It says, hunger lives in silence or something like that. And I was like, God, this is kind of what I mean by the fact that they push out this, we're just, we want to help, equity, compassion, communication and awareness, right? Like they push the powers that be, these agencies push out these messages of like, we're trying to help you, while they're just making it absolutely ridiculously hard for people to even, to sleep on a bus bench or to, right, like to exist. While rents in Los Angeles are, just insane, right? Like for a studio or a 1-bedroom apartment, $2,000, $2,500. It's just, you can't, there's no way you're going to pay that rent working minimum wage or even close to, you got to make like $30 an hour to even afford that kind of rent. So everywhere everywhere you turn, people are being like defrauded. People are being taxed, not paid a fair wage. The groceries are through the roof. Services keep doubling in price, etc. Your energy bills keep doubling. Your internet bill keeps doubling. Your cell bill keeps doubling. Everything just keeps going up. Your gas bill keeps doubling. Your food bill keeps doubling. But they keep, but the agencies and the government at large is all constantly pushing out these messages of like, we're here for you. We're here to help the people that don't have anything, and we're going to help you. And I'm like, oh man, it is such a crock of shit. And it's such, and I'm sure for people who have it much worse than me, that this kind of like cognitive dissonance with the messaging has got to be infuriating. Has got to be absolutely infuriating. Maduro's wife just got a black eye. What? Did she? Was she visited by the boys? Democrats could run on a platform of universal Medicare. Yeah, they could. But they won't. That's why they're not your friend. They won't. Gavin Newsom will not tax billionaires. Gavin Newsom, in a majority Democratic state, will not give you universal health care. They will not give anybody universal health. They will not do it. They refuse. They'll never do it. They'll never do it. And I'm sure that goes for Oregon and any other, major blue state, Oregon, Washington. Do you guys have universal Medicaid? No, you don't. Nobody does. DC, do you have universal Medicaid in DC? Nope. Massachusetts? Nope. What else? Oh, speaking of Democrats, they've confirmed they're considering losing again in 2028. Kamala Harris has confirmed that she's considering. Oh, she's confirmed considering. Confirmed considering. She's confirmed that she's going to think about it a little bit. I'm definitely going to maybe, probably, or not, maybe run for president. She's going to run for president in 2028. Yeah, okay, that'll be great. Yeah, absolutely. Considering the Democrats are considering losing again in 2028. Let's see. She couldn't win the primaries, got VP. Couldn't win a presidential election. Let's try again. Is she? I don't know what kind of. She definitely does not have good political advisors around her. Going back to the people that want to rule or run everything, YouTuber Tyler Oliveira gets his Patreon removed and livelihood destroyed after exposing Jewish Sharia law in the United States. In Lakewood, New Jersey, the Jays have taken over public infrastructure and even have their own secret police. Have you guys seen anything like this?
Sharia law in the United States.
I had summoned the Shamrim Police, the Jewish community's internal police force that receives both federal funding and township funding. Hey, how you guys doing? The Shamrim Police on our back, it felt like we were being policed by a secondary form of law enforcement that seemed to exclusively defend the interests of the Jewish community.
In Lakewood, New Jersey.
Have you guys seen this, like,
there are
secret? Has anybody seen the Jewish police? Yo, that's a whole other level of command.
Communities that completely taken over public infrastructure. They even have their own secret Jew police while committing massive fraud on the American taxpayer to fund their welfare schemes. And in order to prove that the Jews don't run our country and our finance, they had his entire Patreon removed for exposing Jewish Sharia law. But meanwhile, for some reason, explaining that Jews have a disproportionate amount of power in the United States is treated as an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. There are some people on the left that don't even like you using the word Jew. Nick Shirley and right-wing content creators often smear and attack the Muslim community without any factual basis. Meanwhile, people are not allowed to call out Jewish supremacy. And have you guys noticed that liberals have no problems calling out Christian nationalism? Meanwhile, they will smear you as an anti-Semite if you mention Jewish supremacy. They oppose Christian nationalism, but support Zionism, which is essentially Jewish nationalism. Is anyone else tired of these blatant double standards?
Sure we are. What's up? Lither Black says Hong Kong Pooey. Greetings, farewell, and good night, folks. Okay. All right. These are entertaining comments on Odyssey. On Substack. Kate's over on Substack. What's up? Denver, William. Zionists aren't just Jewish. That's true. Sharia law is the Muslim theocracy. Yeah. Well, I think that's, same difference, same diff. No, Zionists aren't just Jewish. That's true. Let's see what else. Duopoly Destroyer. I hate this man so very much. This might be the most despicable human being in the 21st century. I don't know. Who wins most despicable human being? Epstein or Netanyahu? Who wins the prize for the most disgusting human? I mean, I'm positive that there are other people in the race for most disgusting human. I'm sure people would be like, Trump, it's Trump. And I wouldn't be, okay. Put him in there too. Yes, most disgusting human. I don't even want to play this because it's just it's like, oh, these people are trying to it's a pack of lies, and we have been defending ourselves against this stuff that we have created ourselves. And then we're mad, and that people are mad at us, and we're mad because people are actually saying correctly what it is that we are trying to do, and the horrible, disgusting things that we're doing, and we are it's just another level of narcissism and gaslighting. We are upset because people are, accurately calling us out for being the pieces of shit that we are, and we, how dare they? How dare they? They are anti-Semitic. Whatever. I don't need to play this because that's basically all he said. Larry Summers is resigning from Harvard over his ties to Epstein. Okay, somebody somewhere is stepping down. Les Wexner might be the worst Zionist. He controlled our culture. Yeah. And this is exactly what should be happening pretty much everywhere, right? Howard Lutnick, Trump, anybody everywhere who's in the Epstein files, to the degree that they are, should be stepping down, stepping away, saying, I'm sorry, apologizing, whoopsie, my bad. This is, I feel the shame and the hot red shame in my face of what I have done, and how can I atone? No. None of that's happening. But Larry Summers is resigning. Summers was Obama. Okay, this is the funny part. If you want to laugh, Larry Summers removed Cornel West tenure at Harvard. Yeah, sounds about right. He was Obama's economic advisor and Clinton's Treasury Secretary. Oh, tell me more about how Obama isn't here. You know who's not in the files? Obama. Whatever. But Obama was very much tied to the Comet ping pong, and very much tied to, and everybody up in his cabinet were buddies with Epstein. Jamie Dimon, this guy, everybody was Epstein, super pally friendly with Epstein. So Obama didn't know anything about anything. Okay, bullshit. Grow up. Like, grow up. Plus, Obama's all up in the Pizzagate, the Podesta email. So, get out of here with that stuff. Take a hike. He is as dirty as all of them. And the only reason he was allowed to be president is because he was compromised, because they had some shit on him. All the dudes that came forward and said they, smoked crack with and had gay sex with Obama, I believe them. That's probably how they got him compromised. And then he ran for president, and they're like, you get to do whatever we tell you to do. And he's like, okay, anything you want. That's how it works, y'all. Both parties are complicit in the Epstein scandal. Of course. There aren't no, well, he's not doing it. No, there's none of that. Time to get it together. Get it together. The president and CEO of the World Economic Forum, Brende, I guess that's that, or Borg, I don't know how to say his name, Borge, resigns. Look at this stupid face. This guy's stupid ass face. That is the most stupid face. That is a face that needs to be punched repeatedly. Jesus Christ. Well, this one too. Let's punch this face repeatedly whenever he comes out of hiding. CEO of World Economic Forum resigns. This is Thomas Massey. You're welcome. Wow. Yeah, I mean, some people are slinking away off to find another hole to crawl into. I guess that's good. But the people that really need to slink on into a jail cell, they all need to slink on into a jail cell, really. I mean, the resignation is not good enough for this. If you're in the Epstein files, resignation is not good enough for you. No. That's just not enough for me. I need to see somebody go to jail. I need to see several people go to jail forever for the rest of their lives. Like, resigning. Okay. Yay. They're just going to get another job like next week. No, hell no. Hell no. All right. Guys, if you like the show, if you support the show, if you want to support the show, a really good way to support the show is, making a contribution if you can. Lots of links in the description box. There's Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Buy Me Coffee, Ko-Fi, etc. Patreon, Substack. You can support at any of those places. And I appreciate the people that do support. Lou hit me on PayPal as usual. Thanks, Lou. Resignations are not accountability. It's the first step to skipping town. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're just going to resign. I mean, Larry Summers, for crying out loud, is going to get another job. Yeah. He resigned from Harvard, but I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you're going to see him on the board of some other company. Oh yeah. Larry Summers. Yeah. Wasn't there a scandal or something? Oh yeah. Well, anyways, bump. He still has all his money, I'm sure, in his bank or offshore accounts or wherever it is he keeps his money. Let's see. Moving on to some global, crisis. Climate Reanalyzer preliminary data shows massive spike in global ocean temperature. As La Nina fades away, well above the 2023 levels, potentially setting us up for another record-breaking hot year as El Nino conditions take hold. Really? It's going to be record-breaking hot year pretty much from now till, I don't know, pick a date in the future. I mean, that's where we're at right now. I don't know if anybody is, if you've gathered enough of your own personal data to understand that it just keeps getting hotter every year. But people are going to resist this idea until they just can't resist it any longer. But, don't look up or something like that. Yeah, look at this. This is 2026. Pajoof. That's a spike in daily sea surface temperature. That's not good. That's not good at all. And, we just keep getting... It's interesting how quietly, every year just gets hotter. We just smash through these guardrails and barriers and, never been seen before. And the more we kind of lunge through these significant guardrails, the quieter it gets, the quieter the talk about it gets. Pretty much because, Trump, the other part of Trump being in office is so that, he can loudly be a cap on, climate awareness. And then the media the media is not going to cover this kind of stuff either. The media is not going to ever, 6:00 news tell you that it's the hottest year ever, or it's been the hottest year ever for the last 5 years. And, sea surface temperatures are, again, the hottest year ever. Like, they're just not going to do that news segment for you. It's not going to happen. So, Commissioner, never say you want to get baked. True. Underwater harp installation, says Serenity. Yes. I do it. Dr. Evil on his secret island lair has that underwater harp thing going on downstairs. We'll heat up the oceans. This time. Yeah. All right. What else? This is another interesting where are we? This is in Politico from a few weeks ago, I guess. Obsession with growth is destroying nature. Whoa. Yeah, the president did declare the economy is doing great. Yes, it sure is. Have you seen the stock market? Pam Bondi told you should have listened to Pam Bondi. The Fed said jobs are stable and inflation is coming down. All right. Good news, Creative. Thanks. I feel better. Obsession with growth is destroying nature. 150 countries warned. China, India, and EU countries were among the signatories of a report that criticized the prevailing measures of economic success. That's because economic growth equals environmental destruction, period. The end. Like, the more you grow, the more the nature gets destroyed. And so at which point do you decide that it's enough growth? More than 150 countries agree. Going beyond GDP isn't a fringe idea anymore. It's consensus. Only the most rich and powerful nations, the ones that benefit most from the economics of extraction, are resisting this obvious truth. Who are those people? I wonder. Again, I'll just say the weirdest thing ever for somebody to hear, but the only way for us to not destroy the planet, a livable planet, is to accept some kind of limits. And I know people are going to be like, what? Oh, limits to growth. Oh, yeah. What are you, friends with Klaus Schwab? No, I mean, Klaus Schwab doesn't believe in limits to growth. Klaus Schwab just wants to say that in order to get consensus for a different kind of agenda. And I get it. But just because they're using it as a tool does not mean that it is actually not happening. or if you can understand this, that if a city continues to grow outwardly, exponentially expanding, you're going to destroy the habitat that right? The ability for the habitat around you to actually sustain life. I think it's kind of simple to understand, but some people just really have a hard time with it. But I don't know. That's just me. Jay Gibbons, we are breaking records daily here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Normal for this date, 46, now in the 70s. Yeah, dude, it's going to hit almost 90 today in LA. We've been at 90 like several times in the last month. Several times, and they are going ham, absolutely ham on the pergola, in the great pergola in the sky. They're going ham. I'm telling you, absolutely ham. It's wild how much stuff they're putting up there, because they're like ixnay on the Ormth way. Can't have anybody freaking out about how hot it is. We can't have a 110-degree day in February. That would be catastrophic. Because people might, go, oh, is today the day? Is today the day that we suddenly realize we're cooked? Yeah, they don't want people on a mass level to have one of those days where they're like, is today the day that everybody goes, oh, I see. 'Cause people might, go, oh, is today the day that we suddenly realize we're cooked? Yeah, they don't want people on a mass level to have one of those days where they're like, is today the day that everybody goes, oh, I see. 'Cause people might, go, oh, is today the day that everybody goes, oh, I see. They want to put that day off for as long as they can, because when that day happens, there's not going to be what little faith we have in the system already as pertains to the Epstein files and all the people that are involved with it. When you realize that, normal climate conditions are gone and will never come back, and when people realize that on a massive scale, millions and millions of people at the same time going, oh shit, you're going to have absolute pandemonium, and it's going to be really hard to contain things after that. So that's why they're doing that thing, that they're doing. If you're wondering, just don't look up. Whatever you do, just don't look up. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's see. It is reported that 619 people died in Vancouver, BC in heat dome of 2022. Plus the town of Lytton burned to the ground. Yeah, I remember that. The transnational forest companies are leaving British Columbia because most of the low elevation trees have been cut and run. Yep, that's how they do it. Yeah, imagine in LA if they left the skies alone one day, and it wasn't just 90 degrees in February, because 90 degrees, you can go like, oh yeah, it's LA, that happens, but if it reached like 105, that's totally different, because 105 is a little bit like, that's a little outside the envelope there. That's more like a, what the fuck? So they definitely don't want that. Definitely don't want that. All right. Did we cover everything that we wanted to cover? I believe that we did. My friends and neighbors. Everybody that tuned into the Loop show on Tuesday, thank you. You guys are super awesome. A replay of that entire show is on my Patreon. The link to the Patreon is in the description box. And you can watch it for free. And I'm going to do another music show tomorrow at noon. So tune in to Kevin Sandbloom, YouTube at Kevin Sandbloom, Instagram at Kevin Sandbloom, Patreon at Kevin Sandbloom, the number 1. Tomorrow at noon, I'm going to do another quick hit. So if you guys want to come on over and hang out, that would be super cool. It'd be fun with me. Let's see. See if we have any more. The wastewater spill appears to be the largest in history. Yeah. I feel like that's par for the course these days. Potomac wastewater spill appears to be largest in history. Man. Did you see the thing about the a judge halting the construction of the east wing of the White House? So now it's just demolished. And they're like, don't do anything else. A whole wing of the White House is just like gone. I mean, what a fucking mess. The logging companies are taking the last of the old growth. The forest industry jobs are coming to a halt. And the blame is going to the environmentalists who want to save the old growth. Of course. How dare you want to save the trees, Kate? How dare you? You sound like an economic terrorist to me, because what are we going to do? without the trees. I mean, we got to build things. We got to make things. We got to build houses and, bookshelves and stuff. And, the economy has to keep on growing, folks. Or else you're just, what, you want people to be poor? That's what you're telling me, that you want people to be poor. Trees are dumb because they don't understand profit. Yeah. The Dow is 50,000. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you on Monday. On Monday. All right. Until next time, beware the bear.